I'm doing this in the middle of a panic attack, and I think I'm going to speak for all teenagers when I say this kind of thing. And um, it's really hard to go through life um, or explain what's going through your head when you have someone who knows, or you hide, or you don't tell them uh, a lot of the stuff that's you've been through in your past or your history. And when you have a history like mine, it's really hard to make, introduce yourself to someone new without, you know, being like, oh yeah, I'm having a PTSD attack in the middle of a date because the restaurant's too loud or whatever. Um, and they're like, why is he leaving? Is that something it's stuff like that. But secondary to that, the more important one is your parents. You go through life and you try to soldier through, and you don't feel comfortable around telling your parents, or you don't think it's right, or you don't want to, or there's a part of the problem and they don't realize it and you can't tell them, or it doesn't, you just can't tell them, and it doesn't matter the reason. It's so incredibly hard. I don't know any teenager who's like, oh yeah, I can tell my parents anything. I don't know a single one. I know a lot of weird people who can tell people stuff, but you know I don't know a single one who can be like, no, I can tell my parents everything. And so that leaves us with everything. And so some people get along easier, and some people hide stuff and they don't know, and the parents are like completely oblivious to, you know, I don't, I mean, I don't think my parents know that I've self harmed in the past 3 months. I don't want to disclose how recently it's been, but it's been more recent than 3 months. Um, or, you know, you don't want to disclose stuff like, oh yeah, I don't smoke. I don't smoke pot. I would have a very bad reaction with my medication and my bipolar disorder, and that's just me and my chemistry and the way my brain's wired. But like there's tons of kids who are like, no, I don't want to tell my parents that I do that. And it's like they don't want to do that. I mean, like, how can you approach your parents and be like, yeah, I do that, or yeah, yeah, you know, you can't. And so a lot of times you get caught, and that's how you get in trouble. And you can't have a conversation. You can't come up to your parents and say, oh yeah, I drink because I gotta make something up. You know, I I drink because whatever, I drink socially, but I don't drive. I have my buddy so and so driving, and or but your parents walk in on you, and you know, or they come and visit you, or whatever. It's like you make something up, and you get caught for most of the stuff. For me, it's a big issue with my bipolar disorder. I like to buy things when I'm manic, and my parents don't understand that I get manic because of so many different reasons, but I also buy stuff not only because I'm bipolar disorder, but because of my depression, and it helps me calm me down. It helps soothe me, and it's hard. It's a bad habit to buy stuff because, and I need to have a budget, and I need to have someone that can hold me accountable, but my parents aren't that person. And I can't have that conversation with my parents because it's impossible to go to, and it's the same thing with so many people. I mean, going to your parents and saying, we'll stick with the instance of self harm. Going to your parents and admitting you're self harming yourself is harder than, in my opinion, than admitting that you drink to your parents or smoke. because most parents are like, oh yeah, teen's gonna do that, but self-harm is, it's strangely like more common than people realize. But if you go to the extent that I used to, or some of the people I know, it it's really a big shell shocker to parents, and it's really hard for a teen to admit because they typically don't want to share that. It's a hard topic because so many people self harm for so many different reasons. Uh, Mine was self punishment, and and a lot of self hatred, and then it started feeling good. But going to your parents who have never faced that and explaining that to them, it's impossible. And after you've said you've stopped, or they haven't seen the marks, and just, it's impossible to go to them and to go through up to them and explain all the shit you go through every day is impossible. Like, I go through stuff every day, and yeah, I'm a college kid and I'm out for till January 5th. So what? I still face stuff like, I have flashbacks all, all the time during the day towards high school from my PTSD to, because of just things, and just little things that just remind me of it. And how do you, I'm asking this as a rhetorical question and a literal question, but how do you approach your parents like that? I mean, my parents just think I sit around and do nothing all day, and that's not true. I do things, but you know, and then if you're fortunate enough, you got friends who know you really well, and some better than others. I'll admit that Bradley and Mark know me pretty damn well, but you know they don't know me nearly as well as probably Jacob and Elijah do. Well, maybe Bradley. I don't know. Bradley knows me pretty well in some different ways than, but I mean, I'll put it this way: nobody knows me as well as Melanie does. Um, and my mom knows some of my social ticks, but she doesn't know the secrets. And that's the thing is how can you find comfort in these people without discussing these issues? And I don't know the answer, and I hate giving you a video about something and not giving you an answer. But I think the best solution is find someone who's similar to you or you are close to, and open up to them. I was in Arizona after I got out of the hospital, and I don't know if Elijah remembers the story, but he knows what happened. I said, Elijah, we need to go for a walk someplace private. There was a park nearby his house, and we walked there. And I told him about my PTSD, and this is when I was much younger. And he was one of the first few people I told. And he sat down on a bench and went, "Fucking hell, you've held that in for so long." I don't think he cussed, he's Catholic. But he's like, "You held that in for that long?" And I'm like, "Yeah." But you open up to someone and you tell people something, but I'll give you, you you don't have to dump it all at once. Just a little piece here, a little piece there, if that's how you do it. But I will say I don't know how to do it with parents, especially ones when they're frustrated, because if you're getting caught for habits that um, are sparked by depression, and they're mad or upset, how do you how do you explain when they're not in a stable mood? But hopefully someday I'll have an answer, and you guys will be the first I tell. But from now, take care. I'd appreciate it if you liked and subscribed, and take care of yourselves. All right. Thanks a lot. Bye.